What's going on, everybody? John here with Mock Motorsport. So today we are doing a review on the 2018 BRZ TS. That is right. Yeah, it breaks necks. Thanks, appreciate it. It's honestly, it's a BRZ, guys, but you know what? It's got aero, it's got a wing on it, and some wheels, and everybody loses their mind. So, anyways, without further ado, let's get right into it, because I have a tendency to talk way too much. Some of you have pointed that out in some of your videos. Thank you, guys. The internet is never short of any criticism, so I appreciate it because it'll allow me to make better videos. In saying that, I hope that I will be upgrading my camera equipment soon, so bear with me. I promise you the quality will get better. However, in the interim, let's talk about the 2018 BRZ TS. So, I have owned this vehicle now for approximately a month, and in that month, unfortunately, just because of where I live, the weather hasn't been completely conducive to driving this every day, just because we are coming out of the winter and there's been some road salt and yada yada yada. But nevertheless, in the time that I have been driving it, when the roads have been clear, I have managed to put almost 1,200 kilometers on this car. I don't know what that converts to 2 miles. However, you guys can do the math. In any event, I've put almost 1,200 kilometers on this car, and I just want to talk about what I feel and my impression of the 2018 BRZ TS. So, let's start with the drive. How does it drive? Well, having owned 2 FRSs previously, I will tell you that because the FRSs I had owned were 2014 models, and this being a 2018, so this has the revised final drive ratio and, of course, a little bump in power. Do you notice it when you drive around every day? Yes, I honestly can say that I do notice a difference. When I'm driving around day to day, I do feel a little bit more oomph in that mid-range, and the acceleration from a get-go is certainly more noticeable. But overall, I would say that the car drives very similar to my other FRSs. The suspension, however, is a little firmer, and not firm so much in the sense that when you go over bumps, it's chattering your teeth. It's just the car itself just feels firmer. It feels more planted. When I'm going around corners, without a doubt, you can notice a difference in the car. It certainly feels more capable, and it feels a little less ass happy. Now that could also have to do with the fact that we are running the Pilot Sport 4s here. So, that stickier tire is going to take away from the inherent, kind of wiggle that this car, ass wiggle that this car tends to have, and why everybody likes it. So, other than that, I do have to say that I really appreciate the added creature comforts in this car. So the first thing is, the auto lights are definitely a bonus. I really appreciate having the auto headlights. The LED lights are brilliant at night. I mean, without question, they provide a ton, and I mean a ton of visibility. The dual zone climate control, because I didn't have this in the FRS. I can't say that I'm neither here nor there. You're cool, bud. Yep, you're a blacked out Silverado. Oh, you almost rear-ended somebody from being a dick. Good for you! Anyways, no shortage of dicks in my town. But no, the dual zone climate control, having that, I can't say that, it's been a real advantage. I would say more than anything, aesthetically, it just looks a lot nicer than having the single knob dial, BS that I had before. So, that's aesthetically more pleasing. The heated seats I've used a couple of times, and again, I mean, could I do without them? Sure. It's neither here or there. In my daily, however, that is winter driven, I would like to have the heated seats, but this vehicle being more of a weekend, more of an occasion car, it's really irrelevant. The backup camera, definitely a bonus. I appreciate that. Outside of that, I would say the one thing that I've really grown to love in this vehicle is the nav. The nav is definitely, on more than one occasion, have come in handy. And, you have a phone, you can use your cell phone, and that works too. But the nav and the Apple CarPlay, man, what, like, It is, as a realtor, not that I really use this car a lot for day-to-day business, but it has really made things a lot easier for me, and it's more convenient, and you know, I think it just adds to this vehicle being a good daily. Now, you may notice, I don't know if you can in the video or not, but you might hear some rattling in the back. What is that, you ask? Well, my toolkit, my jack, my helmet, my shoes, my gloves. And why is all that back there? That's because we're going to the racetrack today. It's an open lapping event at Toronto Motorsports Park, and I'm going to take the vehicle out there to shake it down, to see what it's like. How does it compare to my other, you know, FRS being at the track? But more importantly, I really want to get to know the vehicle and develop some of my own baseline runs. I'm curious to see what I can put down baseline before I start really modifying the car or doing anything else. But more importantly, I want to improve my driver mod. I want to improve myself. So we will see how that works out. I'm excited to take it there, see what the car responds like, how it handles, because you can only push the car and its limitations so far on the street, and to really get an appreciation for this car, and of course for all of the updates and upgrades that makes the BRZ TS, the real way to really appreciate this is to take it to the racetrack and to really discover the limits of this vehicle, and I'm excited to do that. I'm excited to share that with you. Now, I'm going to wrap up the video by just kind of outlining what makes the BRZ TS different than some of your other model BRZ or Toyota 86s. So the first thing is the BRZ TS being tuned by STI. Now, STI is the performance division of Subaru, and you know, if you're familiar with Subarus, you'll know that they're synonymous in rally, and STI is their performance arm that has modified all of their vehicles over the years. Now, what have they done to this vehicle to upgrade it over and above a standard, let's say, BRZ? Well, we'll start with the aesthetics. So the first thing they've done is they've added some aero to the vehicle. We've got a front STI chin spoiler or lip spoiler. We've got some side skirts. We've got some rear spats at the rear bumper. And then, of course, we've got the wing that everybody sees, that dry carbon wing that's adjustable. Now, what you don't see is underneath the vehicle, they've also added some more plates or some shielding beneath the vehicle to help with to reduce drag and to really suck the vehicle down to the road. So all of this effort has really increased not only the downforce, but has also helped with you know, producing you know, more grip essentially at high speeds to the vehicle, offering more stability. Now let's move on to the suspension and brakes. The most notable is going to be the addition of the STI springs, and then of course the Sachs dampers. I'm not sure if they've really done anything with the sway bars or not, but again, the most noticeable is going to be the dampers and the springs. You know, and you can see them when you look in the wheel well, you can see the red STI or pink STI springs. Also, they've added some stiffeners to some of the control arms, and they've braced and stiffened the rear subframe from what I've been told. Now, I haven't physically been underneath the vehicle myself. Hopefully I can find a stock photo to show you guys, but they've added some of these things to help with the stability and to also create more rigidity in the chassis. The funny thing is that the front stiffener bars that are just underneath the hood that are traditionally one solid piece in all the other models, apparently they've got small dampers in them, and this creates a bit of flex, also adding rigidity when needed. I don't really know how that works, and I can't honestly tell you if it's made a difference or not. The one thing I can tell you is something up there when it's cold makes one hell of a creak. So if that's what it is, I can certainly do without them. All right, now moving on to the brakes. Obviously, it's, you know, very evident when you look at the wheels. Between the spokes, you've got the 4-piston Brembo brakes up front, and then of course the 2-piston rear Brembo brakes. Now, you know, this I can certainly say has added a lot more braking force. Even driving it on the street, it's very noticeable, and I'm sure I'm going to feel the difference at the track, and I'm curious to see as to how many laps I can do without any fade. So right out of the gate, you do, when you're applying some brake pressure, you do feel a much firmer pedal over the standard 86 and of course the BRZ. And you know, even when the brakes get hot, you do find that they're consistently stopping, which is also nice. Not to mention they look great. And then we have the addition of those 18-inch STI wheels with the Pilot Sport Force. Great tire, nice light wheel, you know, and I think it does complement the car very well. It is, in my opinion, a much nicer looking wheel than the wheel that they've included in the new Performance or Sport Package BRZ. But, you know, a very nice looking wheel. I think it complements the car very well. Outside of that, engine-wise, we've got the standard FA20 revised engine that's in all the BRZs and, of course, in the Toyota 86. 205 horse, 156 pound-feet of torque. I might be wrong on that, and you guys will correct me. Compression ratio is the same. Everything internally is the same. Apparently, they've tweaked some things. We've got an aluminum intake manifold now, and with a software update, they've been able to increase the horsepower, 5 horse over the previous models, and they've also shortened the final drive ratio from 4.1 to 4.3, which has made the acceleration just a little more peppier. So that, you know, was pretty much the same across all models except the automatics. And then, of course, we're going to get to the aesthetics. So outside of the aerodynamic aesthetics outside, you know, inside is where you see all the STI goodies. We've got this Alcantara shield over the cluster. We've got the leather wrapped wheel with the red stitching. We've got the red STI shift knob. We've got the STI start button. We've got STI gauge cluster. Effectively, this is all the same stuff, really. But it's red. It's got red trimming. You know, we've got the leather trimming here on the door panel. We've got the nice TS seats here, embroidered seats that are Alcantara and leather. And I think it really does overall complement the, you know, the overall package. And, you know, I know it's kind of tacky and maybe a little bit cheesy, but I love the red seat belts. I think it's great. And then, of course, we've got the STI door sills. Outside of that, that's pretty much it, guys. Now, I don't know, maybe one of you guys can confirm this or not, but I'm almost certain the shifter is a short shifter. I believe it is shorter than the standard shifter, but maybe one of you guys can tell me in the video. I haven't been able to see any documentation that confirms that. Okay, that pretty much sums up what makes the difference between the TS over everything else, outside of it being a very limited model. There's only, I mean, 500 coming into North America, and apparently I've been told 75 into Canada, but I've also heard 100. So they're only available in the black, the white, and the blue, of course. And when they're done, they're done. Apparently that's it. So how do I sum this up? How do I sum up this vehicle? As you guys have known, if you've watched my previous videos, you know that I have a love for these cars and this platform. I know that I got a lot of hate over, not a lot of hate, actually I did get a lot of kind of good and bad, more positive over my S2000 versus BRZ video. And, you know, and I appreciate everybody's comments. You know, whether we agree or not, the fact of the matter is that I really enjoy and love this chassis. The best way that I can sum this all up is that, unfortunately, at this point, I haven't been able to put together the resources to buy myself 911 GT3 RS, but until I do, this is really my favorite platform in its RS version, if you will. Subaru has taken my favorite platform, the car that I enjoy the most currently that I can afford, and they've offered it in what I would say is like a GT3 RS platform. They've added little bits to it. They've made it OE right out of the factory and rare. It's limited. They've put the performance upgrades, you know, aerodynamic upgrades, suspension, brake, wheel updates onto the vehicle to really give me Subaru's best in this platform. And that's why I bought it. Not because, you know, I think the S2000 sucks and I think this is better. No, it's quite simply, I just really enjoy this platform. And because I enjoy this platform so much, the fact that it was offered with all of these upgrades from the factory in a limited number, I was like, yeah, you know what? I want that. I want that. I want to own a piece of that because, quite frankly, you know, I can see myself having this vehicle for a long time. I've been through a lot of vehicles, and if you know me personally, you're probably sitting there shaking your head, so sure, John, whatever. But, you know, the fact of the matter is that I really enjoy this platform, so why not own, you know, kind of something that's, you know, limited and something you're not going to see every day, and so that's why I have it. So, thank you for watching, guys. I really appreciate all of your feedback and your comments, and I promise you I'm going to be updating and upgrading the camera equipment soon. Please leave your comments below. I'd love to hear what you think, and thanks again for supporting the channel and watching. We just hit we just hit 100 subscribers, and you have no idea how much that means to me. That is terrific. Again, I'm doing this just because I enjoy doing it. I'm going to be doing it regardless because I just have a passion for this. So why not document it? Why not bring you guys along for the ride? And I promise you I'm going to upgrade my equipment and make these videos better quality. In the meantime, thanks for watching. I really appreciate all of your feedback. And yeah, like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. Thanks again. All right. Let's get this thing going. Safe operation. Hopefully the audio will be okay. Let's see. We'll see. Oh. Feels heavy in the trunk now. Oh, shit. It looks kind of crooked. Of course the jack is making noise. Let's turn that like that. That's probably better. Okay. Everything's moving. Of course it is. Okay.